Hi there folks, I hope you're all doing well, and wherever you are I hope you're all nice and warm. I'm just out here for a wee evening walk. It's a nice moonlit night, crystal clear. A bit of frost as well, a lot of snow on the ground, as you'll see. I was out to capture a wee something on film, but it kind of got me thinking and decided to do something slightly different. I was just thinking it's that time of year again, New Year, or as we call it here in Scotland, Hogmanay. So just thought I would do a wee short video covering our traditions here in Scotland, being that Hogmanay is quite an important tradition in Scotland now. Hogmanay, or New Year, as the rest of the world knows it by, is a big thing in Scotland, and in a lot of cases and for a lot of people it's a more important thing than Christmas itself. And for many hundreds of years, Hogmanay was celebrated more than Christmas. And at one time, in fact, Christmas was even banned in Scotland. But that's a different story. Anyway, Hogmanay or New Year. I'll have a wee look into it and discuss some of our traditions. Some you might know, some you may not, but hope you enjoy. Well, just grab a wee seat and we'll cover the subject. Like I said, it's a cold night, but it's a lovely night. Anyway, it's that time of year. It's coming up on the 31st of December, last day of the year, and that is when we in the world traditionally celebrate New Year. The end of one year and the beginning of the next. Well, here in Scotland we call that Hogmanay, or as a lot of Scots pronounce it, Hogmanay. Hogmanay. The origins of the word Hogmanay are uncertain. Some people say that it was derived from Norse, others Gaelic. No one can really agree or prove otherwise, but anyway, it's a word we use to describe New Year. The word's been used for a long time in Scotland, and the earliest uses of the word Hogmanay seems to date back to the 17th century, so the 1600s. That's written accounts. It could have been used way back beyond that, and probably was, but Scotland lost a lot of its records through the wars with England, so we've lost a lot of our recorded history that way. So that could be the reason why the 17th century was the earliest written account of it, but again, who knows. There's a lot of traditions surrounding Hogmanay. Some are nationwide, in fact some are worldwide, and others are particular to certain areas within Scotland. But the ones that are pretty widespread among Scots are in the lead up to Hogmanay. People clean their houses from top to bottom, much like what we would call now a spring clean in springtime, but at the New Year. And it's a way of basically cleaning the house, you're cleansing it, and you're throwing away all the old stuff, and you're starting afresh in the new year, starting as you mean to go on. So that's a fairly common one. Now traditionally it's a time for family. and in some cases family and friends. But normally the celebration of Hogmanay and seeing in the new year, or is what we say in Scotland, the bells, seeing in the bells, that's the period at the stroke of midnight when you move from one year into the next, and that's denoted by the ringing of the church bells in every town and village in Scotland. So giving it the name the bells, and it's common to ask people or hear people saying, what are you doing for the bells, where are you going for the bells, who are you seeing in the bells with, etc. And that just basically means is, where are you going to celebrate Hogmanay, where, who are you seeing it in with, etc. Like I said, a family event, and it's normally immediate family and in some cases extended family where possible, and that'll be fathers, mothers, daughters, sons getting together, and in some cases, like I said, extended family, uncles, aunties, cousins, grandparents, etc. will all get together to see in the bells and see in the new year. And that is probably one of the main reasons it makes it so big in Scotland, because it is a family event, and it means a lot to the people. A lot of the meanings are getting lost, and it's kind of getting used as an excuse to have an obscene amount of alcohol in a short period of time, but that's modern ways. But tradition is, it was all about family, about friends and togetherness, and that is probably one of the main reasons it makes it so big in Scotland, because it is a family event, and it means a lot to the people. A lot of the meanings are getting lost, and it's kind of getting used as an excuse to have an obscene amount of alcohol in a short period of time, but that's modern ways. But tradition is, it was all about family, about friends and togetherness. Now, as the stroke of midnight or the bells gets closer, certainly in the last minute or so, it's customary to get close to a loved one, and that person you'll see in the new year with, and you'll see it in with a kiss or a cuddle or a handshake or whatever, and you would then go round the room and shake each person's hand or cuddle them or kiss them, now depending on whether they're a man or a woman, of course, but you go round the whole room, and each person in turn would wish each other a happy new year and all the best in the new year. And as you know, the alcohol thing also plays a part in it as well, and you would normally have a drink to toast in the new year. Now, in Scotland, traditionally that would be a wee dram. Now, when we say a wee dram, we mean we're referring to a drink of whiskey, a measure of whiskey in a glass, and wee just means small, as you probably know yourself. But so traditionally, see it in with a wee dram. Another tradition is for once the New Year's came in, is for people to, or just as it's coming in, people to link arms and hands and sing an old Scottish song. It's an old Burns song dating back to 1788, derived from one of these poems, and that is Auld Lang Syne. Now, be careful how you pronounce that. There's a common English mispronunciation nowadays, and that's to pronounce sign as Zine with a Z instead of an S, but I assure you it is Auld Lang Syne. The title of the song, Auld Lang Syne, is from the Scots language, Lowland Scots. It doesn't translate too well into modern English, basically means old, long since. A better translation would be old times or the olden days. So there we go, Auld Lang Syne. Now, written by Burns, very underrated Scottish writer and poet of the 1700s. You hear a lot about Shakespeare or William Shakespeare, because the English bum him up, but Robert Burns, or Robbie Burns as we know him, doesn't get the recognition he deserves in my opinion. And that one song is sung worldwide in many different languages. And it's probably one of the most universal songs that there is, and yet not many people could probably tell you who wrote the words. But there we go, Robert or Robbie Burns. Keep that one in mind. It's traditional to wish people a happy new year, just like it is to wish them a happy or a Merry Christmas. Now, a lot of people would say Happy New Year or Happy New Year when it comes, if you're saying it before it, but traditionally in Scots what they would say is Hogmanay. Basically what that translates to is celebrate Hogmanay. So if you want a traditional Scottish greeting there around about the Hogmanay period, is Hogmanay. Like I've said and like you know, there's a lot of traditions surrounding Hogmanay. A lot of them are regional in Scotland, and like I said, a lot of them go across the board. One of those is what they call first footing, and it's a tradition in Scotland to visit neighbours and friends or family, as it might be, after the bells, and wish them a happy new year and wish them luck in the new year to come. And basically what first footing means is that person would be the first person to cross the threshold of their neighbour, friend or family member's house, and it's traditional to bring a gift of some sort. That could be alcohol, whiskey, etc. It could be food in the form of shortbread, or a common one is bun. It's a cake. There's a black bun, which is basically just a fruit bun. Other ones I see is a white coloured bun, cherry bun, and it's common to bring those and pass them on to the person that owns the house and wish them all the best. There is older traditions, and that is to bring a lump of coal for the fire. Now, granted, not a lot of people have coal fires nowadays, so that's kind of a bit obsolete, but keeping fires running, especially in winter, was an important thing. And in a lot of communities, it was frowned upon to allow your fire to go out. But anyway, bring a bit of coal for the fire. Maybe in the Highlands where peat burning was a bit more common, maybe they brought a lump of peat. Not too sure about that one, but that's very possible. Another one was salt, but like coal, that's probably a bit more obsolete and a bit more forgotten, but there's some wee ones there. Another tradition, probably more a regional one, and certainly I think largely outdated one, but probably for obvious reasons mainly observed within farm communities, was the blessing of animals with water from a nearby spring, etc. So but that's one that you don't hear about too much now, but just thought it was one I'd throw in as well. Once everybody's went went round all their friends and relatives. It's effectively within walking distance. It'll probably be time to retreat back to a particular point, whether it be your own house or another family member's, and see out the rest of the morning. The following, well, when daylight comes, traditionally, as I say, families will have a feast. Something similar to Christmas, but probably traditionally, well, certainly my family, it was steak pie, and you'd have a big dinner New Year's Day, or as we kind of blend the syllables together, and it's New Year's Day. So another wee tradition there for New Year's Day, and you would normally go and visit the rest of the people that you hadn't got a chance to visit the night before. And in fact, you're normally shaking hands and hugging people and kissing for a good few days to come after that. The first time you see somebody after New Year, certainly probably up to a week or so, you're wishing them all the best and a happy New Year. Now, sadly, for obvious reasons, this New Year isn't going to be a traditional one as we're accustomed to. We're going to need to forgo a lot of the traditions, the gatherings, the handshakes, the hugging, the kissing, due to the global pandemic that we find ourselves in the middle of. Now, it's probably for the best that we just show a wee bit of common sense and forego the pleasures for a year. It means that there's a better chance that we'll be here for next year, and our loved ones will be here for next year as well, and we can wish them a happy new year, or Hogmanay. So on that note, that brings this wee video to an end, which was basically focusing on the Scottish New Year tradition, or Hogmanay. Some of these things, or a lot of these things, you may have already known, especially if you're Scottish, but if you're not, I hope you found it informative, and if you liked it, please hit the like button, leave a comment, tell us how you celebrate New Year, or what you call it in your country, and share the knowledge. But like I said, hit the like button, leave a comment, hit subscribe, keep up to date with future productions. Check the stuff that's already on my page, on my channel. It's a young channel, but there's a few videos in there you might find of interest, and feel free to share any of them. So, on that note, I will bid you farewell, and I will wish you a happy new year when it comes, or Hogmanay. Cheers, and all the best.